Hey everyone, this is Miles Motor Vehicles 2001 back here again, and today I'm going to be doing a second vlog video, which is this time on my trip in Scranton, Pennsylvania, which will include my train ride in Steamtown National Historic Site, then the Anthracite Heritage Center, and then Steamtown again, where I'm going to see my favorite steam locomotive of all time, Union Pacific Big Boy, which I've always wanted to see since I was a kid. So anyway, guys, I'm going to be showing videos and clips of me in Scranton, learning more about steam engines and coal. Please enjoy this second vlog video. This is my all-time favorite steam locomotive, Union Pacific Big Boy number 4012. I'm gonna go inside the locomotive and take a tour inside the cab.
Throttle's right up there, right at your eyes. Right there. That's the throttle. Yep.
It's a Johnson bar, right?
Johnson bar.
There you go.
Shake the grate.
Yep.
Sir, when does the other one get here?
Momentarily, I would imagine so.
Yeah.
Today?
Yeah. She's not going to be stopping though. She's just going to do a 30-second whistle stop, driving around, going around, because she's got to get to Nesquehoning. So you'll hear her.
Yeah.
Oh, you'll hear her.
He'll tell you that he's glad he's the one who gets to do it. Sometimes I'm so busy shoveling coal, I don't sit down in the seat box the entire trip. If I'm not shoveling, I'm watching my gauges. This one is the water glass. It's the single most important piece of equipment on the entire locomotive. It tells me the water level in the boiler. My number one priority is to make sure there's always water in the boiler.
That's the coal tender, and where the tender takes the water and coal, and that's the boiler where the water is heated up by the firebox and it goes into the steam dome and the throttle valve, and it goes through the steam pipes all the way down to the steam locomotives. And then there are the piston valves. That cylinder has one set. It pushes the piston rods back and forth, and it allows fresh steam to enter and used steam to exhaust from the piston cylinders, and it goes into the smoke box going out of the chimney. Vitamins. Right, now I'm at the Coal Mining Museum, and I'm going to be learning a lot about coal, especially because they're used in steam engines. Here we go, into the mine.
Coal was formed from the decomposed organic material that was buried for millions of years, and it was sandwiched between alternating layers of rock that were heaved, faulted into the Appalachian mountain range. As you can see, the deepest seam is over 500 feet deep, so that put the bulk of this coal beneath the water table. So deep mining was not made possible till after 1850, when the coal companies harnessed the steam engines to the mine pumps. Large pumps were used to pump water out of the mine so that the miners can get into the deepest seams and extract the coal. For every ton of coal brought to the surface in the 1920s, over 10.5 tons of water had to be pumped out of the mine. In November 1960, the Pennsylvania Coal Coal Company turned out the last of their deep mine pumps here in the Lackawanna Basin. This caused the underground mine pool to rise, forcing rivers of water out of mine seeps and entrances, flooding several basements and threatening over 200 homes and businesses on the lower end of the valley with the rainless flood. To ease the flood threat, the Pennsylvania Department of Mines drilled a 42-inch diameter borehole into the abandoned Pennsylvania Coal Company works beneath the Lackawanna River down here in Old Forge to drain and control the level of water in the underground mine pool. Between 40 and 100 million gallons of acid mine water, along with over 7,700 pounds of iron oxide, are discharged through this outlet per day into the Lackawanna River, keeping the level of water in this mine, shown by the red line here, about 100 feet below us. Now, if you focus your attention on the upper chart, you'll see an illustration of what they call pillar and chamber mining. This was the most common method of mining here in the northern field. All mines were first developed by driving gangways through the mine, and gangways were your main highways, and they were driven as level as conditions would permit. As near perpendicular to the gangways, the chambers were driven following the rise of the coal beds. The chambers were mined either to the surface or an upper level gangway. Now, each of these chambers were separated by pillars of coal of varying thickness, according to the weight and the character of the overlying strata. These pillars of coal had regular tunnels called crosscuts pierced between them, and this is how they circulated air between the chambers. Now, the wooden timbers you see in front of you and throughout the mine, they are not strong enough to hold the enormous weight of the rock and the coal above us. The roof is actually held up by those pillars of coal that were left behind. But these timbers, they act as an early warning system. The miners had a saying, if the pillars are talking, the miners are walking. Okay, well, let's do her, Here's they used mules in the mine haulage system. When they brought electricity into the mine, if you follow my light, you'll see that they ran a bare wire cable along the roof of the mine there, and they introduced the electric locomotive. The electric locomotive made it a lot easier to haul more tonnage of coal through the mine, but that bare wire cable along the roof of the mine there posed a hazard. That was 277 volts direct current. That line was always energized, so if a mine worker happened to be walking along the tracks, tripped, reached up and hit that cable, he could get electrocuted. Behind the electric locomotive, you'll see what's called a man-trip car. This is how the miners were lowered into the mine and extracted from the mine in a slope operation. Now, as the mines modernized, they introduced the telephone. And how these telephones work, there was a series of rings to the different sections of the mine and to the buildings on the surface where a phone was located. So if we needed to call the hoist house for any reason and the signal was 3 rings, we would simply pick up the earpiece and crank this 3 times. They would pick up their earpiece and we would be able to talk to the hoist house. But one thing you had to keep in mind when you were using this type of telephone, it was a party line system, meaning anyone in a different section of the mine or a building on the surface where a phone was located could very easily pick up their earpiece and listen in on the conversation. So you got to be very careful what you said on this phone, because the person who may pick that earpiece up could be your boss, and if you heard you bad-mouthing him, you could be in one heck of a mess. Dangerous gases in the mine. Methane, which they call fire damp, being one of them. Methane was generated and stored in the coal during its formation. The gas was released when they began drilling the holes to plant the explosives. Methane, once it was mixed with the stale mine air and coal dust, became very explosive. We also had carbon dioxide, which they call black damp. The coal, once it was exposed to the mine air, began to absorb oxygen, leading to the release of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is heavier than air, it pools near the floor, and could easily suffocate a mine worker. This is what's called a permissible flame safety lamp. And this is what was used as a working light and to check for those gases. The first safety lamp was invented over in England in 1813 by Dr. William Clanny. 2 years later, Sir Humphrey Davy and George Stephenson fabricated their version of the safety lamp. However, it wasn't until 1871 when there was a Frenchman by the name of Marceau who perfected the safety lamp. There were only two permissible flame safety lamps allowed in the American mines, and they are the Wolf and the Kohler, and they are directly related to the Marceau design and construction. How the lamp functioned was the flame provided enough light for the miner to work his chamber. That gas was not detectable by the flame safety lamp. So if you look up here, you'll see miners began bringing canaries into the mine to check for carbon monoxide. Canaries were used because they were very active birds. They were always singing.
Here I go, going through the coal mining museum. There are the canals, or that boat over there, that other boat, transporting coal, and railroads. Look, that's steam locomotives. Steam locomotives usually run on coal, but sometimes oil, and they used to run on wood. Over here, these are like steamships that also run on coal. There's some coal mine, also some crane over there, also working in the community. And a coal wagon pulling some coal, and also a tugboat, and a mix of a tugboat and a steamboat. Lackawanna tug. Here's the Pennsylvania Railroad. Oh look, it's steam locomotives. Strike of 1887. I'm gonna read more about that. There's that battery locomotive, and there's the coal wagon and coal running down into the mine. Look at that bucket carrying some coal. Oh look, that Hercules steam shovel. Bootlegging. Oh, I'm gonna...
The gift shop is going to close at 3:30. The museum is open till 5.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go.
Big Boy was scrapped, and then they brought Big Boy back. Big Boy all up.
There's 4014 Union Pacific Big Boy.
Closer. We won't have the tree. So just chill and get closer.
Yep.
Done.
Woohoo! So fun!
I see him. He's down there.
Well guys, I hope you enjoyed my vlog video on my trip in Scranton, Pennsylvania of going to Steamtown, the coal mining museum, and seeing the actual Union Pacific Big Boy. And it actually blew his whistle. I finally heard the whistle in person. Hope you like this vlog. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you're new to YouTube. And also watch all my motor vehicle parodies and my collection videos and my New York Auto Show vlog video, and also my Thomas and Friends Characters Explained videos. And please stay tuned for my next Thomas and Friends Characters Explained video, which is on James the Red Engine. I will talk to you guys later, and I will see you all next time. Bye guys!